Today, our verse is John chapter 20, verse 20. When he had said this, he showed them his hands and his side. Then the disciples were glad when they saw the Lord. On the evening of that resurrection day, while the disciples were still afraid and locked themselves in a room, Jesus miraculously came and stood among them and said to them, "Peace be with you." This powerful greeting was probably uttered in Aramaic or Hebrew, shalom. It was a wish of complete wholeness for their spiritual, physical, and mental well-being, having been traumatized in the aftermath of the arrest, passion, crucifixion, and death of Jesus their Lord. After greeting them, our verse says, he showed them his hands and his side. In Luke's gospel, Jesus showed them his hands and feet. If you read Luke chapter 24, verse 40. Here, John wants to highlight the wound on the side of Jesus apart from the wounds the nails made on his hands and feet. John had mentioned the piercing of the side of Jesus on the cross. If you read John chapter 19, verse 34. Why would Jesus show them his hands and side? Jesus wanted them to see the wounds the nails made in his hands and the hole the lance made on his side when the soldiers pierced his side. Showing them his hands and side was essential to let them know that he was not a ghost, as ghosts do not have physical wounds. It was also necessary to reveal to them that he had the same body that was nailed to the cross. It was not a different body. The second part of the verse says, "Then the disciples were glad when they saw the Lord." The Greek word translated as glad here is kairo, which means to rejoice, be delighted, be full of joy, or be in a state marked by a good feeling about an event or circumstance. Jesus' presence among them made them rejoice. They had been afraid and locked themselves in the room. They were delighted because their fear of his body being stolen had been conquered. They were glad because they knew that he was truly alive, that he had risen as he had said, and that the words of Jesus had come to pass. Their faith in Jesus would not be in vain. They were glad because they could testify to his resurrection, that indeed he was alive, he was not dead. They were full of joy because the resurrection would change their story forever. They were delighted to be reunited with their Lord and friend. We can sometimes find ourselves in the disciples' situation when the world seems to be against us, when we are dejected, frustrated, and lose hope. Let us not forget that Jesus does not need any door to enter into our hearts. He comes in without any barriers as he came to the disciples. Our task is to recognize that he's there and that he will bring us the desired comfort. We too can experience that joy when Jesus comes into our hearts in those sad and difficult moments, in moments of grief and bereavement. Do not give up. Jesus is with you. Lord, in times of pain, frustration, and challenges, may we feel your gentle presence, bringing us peace and calmness and leading to inner joy and happiness. Amen. God bless you, and I wish you a wonderful day.